Good morning and welcome to my blog, Wisdom for Today. And I hope that you're keeping cool during this heat wave. Stay hydrated, don't work too hard, take your time at doing things. The heat is a beautiful thing to enjoy, but you have to pace yourself with it. Today is the third Tuesday of the month, so I want to talk to you about a character in church history who influences our life today. And the person I want to talk to you about is Watchman Nee. And I preached about him a couple years ago, but I want to bring him to the center of my conversation today because it was how he came to faith that intrigues me the most. If you don't know about Watchman Nee, he was a Christian during China's most dangerous cultural revolution and spent the last 20 years of his life in prison because of his faith. But during his life, he published over 60 books on Christian service, founded 400 churches, and held various seminars on how to train young men and women for evangelism and the ministry in China. There are more than 9 million followers of Jesus today in China, and 2,000 churches can be traced back to the work of Watchman Nee. Now, let me tell you about how he came to faith, because to me it's one of the most beautiful stories of Christendom. In the spring of 1920, Nee, who was 17, was invited to a revival meeting in the Church of Heavenly Peace. And Nee's mother had attended these meetings, and she had found a saving grace in Jesus Christ. Now, Nee's mother and his father were very traditional Chinese people and very strict with their children. But she came home, and the first thing she did is she apologized to her son for an unjust treatment, an unjust punishment that she'd put on him. She felt convicted by the Holy Spirit that she'd been too harsh on her son. And this was something that in those days Chinese parents did not do, because honor meant everything. And it was a child's duty to honor the parent. Now, the parent was supposed to love and protect the child, but not the same kind of honor. And here was his mother humbling to him. And he was so impressed that he went to the meeting and he found a faith in Jesus Christ. He began to attend Bible studies over a Christian woman's house whose name was Dora Yu. And she was an English woman. And so when the Cultural Revolution came, she was already sick. And she died during that time, maybe because of the stress. But she left all her books to Watchman Nee. And although he attended some seminary, he said he educated himself through those books. And then he was a man on fire for Jesus. He married and had 2 children, but he spent the vast majority of his life preaching and teaching and discipling in the most dangerous ways. And what I like about Watchman Nee is that his gospel spread to so many people, and he rivals Billy Graham in the amount of people that came to faith through his preaching, and yet he didn't have a radio that he could use or a television. It was just word of mouth and him passing out his books. But what I like most about this story is the people that egged him on. His mother. It may seem like a trivial thing, but she went to make amends with her child. And that's something that it takes a little bit of humility and a little bit of time, but it can be easily put off by more important things that we have to do throughout our day. But she was obedient in what we would consider a small thing. And then the missionary woman who led Bible studies in her home. Not only did she take the young Watchman Nee under her tutelage, but she left him her library when she could have sent it back to family as mementos. But if they were mementos, they might not have been used, and Watchman Nee used them. It reminds me that there are stars in this world like Watchman Nee who live their life for the faith of Jesus Christ. And then there's the rest of us who help others live their life for Jesus by doing just the little bit that God gives us to do. It reminds me of this parable of the talents. He that is faithful in little, I will entrust with more. May we be faithful in the little bit that God gives us today. I pray you have a wonderful week, you enjoy the summer, and you enjoy the weather, with some water maybe, and with some air conditioning. And I look forward to seeing you in church this Sunday. God's blessings, and have a great day.